Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green, broadcasting live. This is a special report. Proof, Boston false flag terror continues. This has probably been the most incredible couple of days that I've ever had in the history of our news organization. I mean, it's honestly been insane. It is nothing short of absolute chaos in Boston, all across the United States. And people are demanding answers to what exactly is going on. Now, I had a report that I was bringing to you earlier this afternoon. I had contributor Topher Morrison of AMTV News on the cell phone. I'm sitting in front of YouTube here and trying to live stream. We're having a conversation breaking down the graphic images which appear to prove this event, the Boston Marathon Massacre, as a false flag terror staged event by the federal government. You know, whether or not you want to call it a conspiracy or a cover-up or another September 11th type event is up to you. Now remember, we were one of the first news organizations to break this to you. In fact, I personally broke the idea of a false flag terror attack, that this smelled rotten, that it looked like a pile of shit, day one. I mean, literally, as soon as the story broke, I put a video out. Don't even have to read the content. You know, you get to the point when you study this stuff, and I've been doing this for over 4 years now, and you report on this kind of content, you know the next steps that this administration is going to take before they even take it. It's that perverse. It's that crazy. And so I'm going to do my best to rehash the 15-minute or so broadcast I had with Topher when our system crashed and we got a blue screen. I also tried to do a Google Hangout at the same time a few hours ago as a backup. Many of you saw that in the feed, and that crashed. That wouldn't work. So I've never had our system crash so many times in a short period of time at this high frequency ever in the history of the 4 years I've been doing this. Our radio show, the archive that I just put up, that was broadcasted live yesterday, also I crashed off the air with our syndicate that syndicates us on FM stations. We crashed the second hour. Our servers blew up. Our servers here were basically on fire. That's never happened before. The videos that I've put up on YouTube, and we've been putting up as much content as we possibly can. 2 of them, as I mentioned yesterday, are being censored actively by YouTube. You have to press a link. You have to accept and acknowledge that you're going to the video. Another one of them has matched third-party content on it. So never has this happened in the history of bringing news to you, our audience. Smelled like a pile of shit before, still looks like a pile of shit, and that shit's getting dirtier. It's getting dirtier. And now more alternative media organizations are now coming around, and now everybody's on the bandwagon that it's false flag staged terror. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. We uncovered that day one, the minute that the news story broke. It smelled rotten. And it appears to be rotten. Now, some very graphic images came out today, and there's been a lot of internet sleuths. This is what I was talking with Topher Morrison about. And this is courtesy of Blacklisted News. Let me see if I can actually share my screen here with you. I think that is working. Hold on here. Okay, I'm not even going to try that because it doesn't, I do not know if it is working or not. Hold on. Okay, so we're just going to stop that. You're just going to have to basically follow along with me here. This is courtesy of Blacklisted News. There's all these photos of the Boston bombing culprits being found. Let me see if I can actually open up a new window here. This might work better. Okay, I believe this is working now. This is the Blacklisted News website. Among many others, an internet sleuth going through the footage. Again, we're in the day of age now where the federal government, the FBI, they can't just confiscate, the images, the data, the video footage. There's just too much information out on the internet. There's too many cell phones, etc. This is the Google Glass environment that we live now. Allegedly, here we have pictures of suspects. And as we run through the images here, you see the first image here. This is a lone, brown, black backpack, not watching. You see this gentleman right here wearing black. He's got khaki pants on. We go down here. We have another individual who very much looks like a Ted Kaczynski, bearded, lone wolf in the woods. What they stereotype as the patriot assassin, the patriot terrorist, which they've now lumped in with Al-Qaeda. You have him here with another black backpack. Here you have the exploded backpack. Now remember, I just put a video out on don't ban pressure cookers, don't ban the Second Amendment, basically just showing you and doing my best to get it out to the viewing public and hopefully make it viral. It's up to you to do that. I can only put the content out. So please share it, sign the petition, but to just show how insane and ludicrous that it actually is. How insane it is to think that, guns are responsible for these killings. Pressure cookers are what killed these 3 people a few days ago and dismembered and wounded 100+ others. So we keep running through these photos. You see another gentleman here circled. You see images. This is kind of a downward look post-explosion. You can see that. Let me get to where the material content is. Again, you have a zipper pocket. You have this backpack here. You have the Ted Kaczynski type. Here he is again. This gentleman looks or appears to be of Eastern European descent or perhaps Middle Eastern descent. That is unconfirmed. You have him. He's in khaki pants, military-grade boots. These are all things that contributor Topher Morrison was sharing with me early on this afternoon. We were running through this report that I was very upset about not being able to get out to you. Again, our systems had crashed if you were just coming here to the live broadcast. You also notice here, he's got an earpiece and he's got a cord running down into his jacket, into his coat. That could be somehow connected to a detonation device, a cell phone, something like that. You can see another placement of a backpack here. Okay, so we keep moving down here. I'm going to thumb through some of the photos here. Okay, this is a very telling, very perverse photo. This is what's swirling around the internet right now. This is what internet sleuths have uncovered. It almost appears, it appears to look as if there is now a third suspect, not the Ted Kaczynski bearded-looking guy. He appears to be on a cell phone or some kind of communication device, along with this other gentleman that appears to be of Eastern European or Middle Eastern descent, both wearing backpacks, which could likely be holding these detonation devices, bombs, pressure cookers. They both appear full. Again, wearing military-grade khaki pants, military-grade boots. This gentleman is also wearing a SEAL cap, the same type of baseball cap that newly or conveniently assassinated Chris Kyle, who I believe you might maybe agree with him being in the wars overseas, but was an American hero and was actively training the militia movement in Texas, who was recently killed. The same hat. So here we have military-grade pants, military-grade boots. They're in uniform. Backpacks are full. And we've got the Navy SEAL ball cap. Okay, this is smelling rotten. This is getting worse. You can see here now the image again of this other individual. You can see here, here's the bomb. Keep going down. Now remember, we were one of the first news organizations to report on this. There was bomb-sniffing dogs at the event, but it appeared to be abnormal. There was activity. In fact, there was an account, one of the runners said they were warned not to worry, that there was a bomb threat or potentially a bomb threat of some kind, that they were investigating the area. So a lot of motive here, and in fact, I don't even really necessarily want to go into the motive right now because I've discussed it in about 5 other videos. So if you want to watch that content, watch those videos. 3 of them have already gone viral. So again, you can continue to scroll through these photos. Now let me switch out of the screen share here. We are back, and I'm going to run through some of these other stories. So check that out. Check out blacklistednews.com, Boston bombing culprits found. Somebody dropped that link in the chat so you can go see it for yourself. Now, we've been getting a constant stream of who the suspect is. Within 2 hours of the initial blast, the federal government supposedly had found who they thought that the suspect was, a Saudi national, who, by the way, also lived at a condominium complex or an apartment complex in Boston. His roommate was interviewed, said, no, I don't think this person could have ever done this. The apartment complex name, Revere. Revere. Paul Revere. Again, another strange sign. You know, you get a lot of this imagery and these signs. These are telltale signs of staged terror. This is the language of the Illuminati, of the Illuminists, the New World Order. Very strange. I'm actually seeing across my screen now, this is the first that I've seen, it says, watch live, President Barack Obama speaks after the Senate rejects a proposed ban on certain semi-automatic guns. Now, of course, I was aware, many of you are aware, that the Senate rejected that proposed ban, which is fantastic news, but keep in mind, there's still executive order. You know, I had a few liberal friends say, hey, Chris, the system's working. Well, you know what? Fantastic. I want it to work this way. I don't want any of this legislation passed. I don't want the Senate or Congress to ratify these bills, pass these bills. But there's still executive order. There's still executive privilege. And President Barack Obama has had a historical track record of bypassing Congress. So there's still that. And now, there is the blasting, no pun intended, of all this imagery and all this drama and chaos around the Boston Marathon massacre, which, by the way, had a tremendously low casualty count, another very big sign and indication, in my opinion, of staged terror, of a false flag event. It's why day one, literally within minutes of the first and second blast, I said, false flag, staged terror. That's not to say that we weren't investigating it continuously, but it smelled rotten. Staged terror, likely. Day one, minutes of the first 2 blasts. So we have all this confusion around possible suspects. You know, is he a Middle Easterner? Is he a Eastern European? Or is he perhaps a part of the Patriot movement? So back to the photos that I just showed you of Blacklisted News. Back to those photos. Those photos either indicate one of 2 things, in my opinion. Either it's an inside job, as I've had the suspicion that it was from the very beginning, because, again, there's political motive for this right now. You've got massive gun control legislation moving through the Senate and Congress right now, literally as I speak, as I deliver this video to you. Or, if it's not an inside job, it is people dressed up and impersonating what appears to be military-grade personnel and FBI agents. Now, I talked about this a little bit with Topher Morrison. In a way, it almost doesn't really matter whether or not it's an inside job or not. Although I believe, at least given the evidence that's presented to me at this given point in time in history, at 9 o'clock, 9:14 here in Arizona time, that it is. It almost doesn't really matter. Because no matter what, this government, President Barack Obama, Vice President VP Joe Biden, people like, I want to take and confiscate all your guns away, Feinstein, Mayor Bloomberg, they're going to politicize this for political gain no matter what. They're going to attack the liberty movement. They are going to scapegoat patriots everywhere, constitutionalists everywhere, and lump them in. Lump you in. Lump me in with Al-Qaeda, with the Easter Bunny, Osama bin Laden. Team America, F yeah. You see, we're the enemy now. You're the enemy now. Enemy number one, as President Barack Obama has said many times before, hey, they don't even fear Al-Qaeda anymore. They fear the lone wolf. They fear Adam Lanza, Jared Loughner, these other psyops. They fear those types of people. They fear you. Now, you're the enemy. This is almost unraveling, and it's almost so perverse and chaotic, where it's been really the most challenging part of my career ever in terms of trying to digest and get this information out to you. I'm almost wondering, I almost have a suspicion and kind of this gut reaction that maybe Boston, just like Sandy Hook, and there's this domino effect. There's the movie theater, MK Ultra massacre shooting, Sandy Hook. There was Jared Loughner. Now there's the Boston massacre. There's an explosion at a fertilizer plant that I haven't gotten to yet, which is being blasted all over CNN right now. Could perhaps the federal government have and be planning and have already planned a series? I mean, this is what's happening. You know, I'm just looking at the facts of what's already occurred. The dominoes. Stage terror attack, increase the frequency, raise the fear level. You know, call Janet Napolitano if you see anybody suspicious. You know, she broadcasts that Walmart message. To the point where it instills so much fear, so much terror. It's white hot, code red. That even those of us, some of us in the liberty movement are so scared shitless that we're just like, take all of our liberty right now. We don't even want it. Because there was just 10 terrorist attacks all over the country. There were 20 buildings blown up, 15 movie theaters, fertilizer plants, marathons, public events, etc., that we just can't even take it anymore. We're honestly, it's the government pulling the Trump card of stage terror, and then it's all over. And again, I talked about the fact America's very lucky. And I'm personally very surprised, and I've talked about this with family and friends, very surprised that we haven't seen more of this, that it hasn't been more violent, more dramatic. You know, honestly, we're going to wake up one of these days, it's not going to be 3 people dead at the Boston Marathon, it'll be an American city. You'll wake up, Washington, D.C. won't exist, New York won't exist, Austin won't exist, whoever the target might be at any given point of time. Again, these people will stop at nothing. They will kill, they will murder. It doesn't matter whether or not it's men, women, or children. This is being done overseas on a regular basis. To think it doesn't happen here in the United States of America, you are a fool. You are incredibly ignorant. Again, Chris Kyle, conveniently murdered, American hero, training the militia movement, training the local police department in Texas that would lead a resistance. He was leading the resistance physically. Would lead a Civil War North versus South type scenario, which is coming to the United States of America. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands, up to millions now, I would think, of these petitions, all 50 states, signing to peacefully secede from the Union. He was whacked. There was another YouTuber, some of you know who I'm referencing, who was, we need to investigate. In fact, I'm gonna save that because I do want to do a special report on that. It's some analysis I've been doing. Some of you know who I'm referencing. There was Andrew Breitbart, who I reported on extensively. I believe that he was murdered. Remember, he was going to come out on President. All this is just, it's intensifying to the point of just sheer insanity. To the point where it's almost like you don't even know what you're looking at anymore. Now remember, you have to constantly convince people, and you have to show them specific evidence that the United States federal government implements false flags. Two very big talking points to share with your non-committal, think you're a crazy crackpot friends. One of them was the recent admitted FBI foiled underwear bomber terror plot. Remember I reported on that? Those of you that have been following our channel over the past year, false flag terror, just like Boston. Then it comes out and the FBI admits it. They admit it. Look it up. I'm not making this stuff up. So many other examples. Gulf of Tonkin. One that was standing out to both Christopher and I, Topher and I, when we were doing our broadcast earlier was Imad Salim, if I'm saying his name correctly, who was a proven FBI informant who blew up the World Trade Center February 26, 1993. I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. Go look it up. Proven. Declassified. FBI informant. So to not think that, or to not potentially think, again, this is about investigating to find the truth no matter what the outcome. If I investigate the truth, it proves that this is bullshit, that it's not staged terror, it's legitimate acts of terror. I don't care if it's within the liberty movement or not. Then we are focused and we are going after the truth. That's all that matters to me. That's all that I care about. But there are countless and countless examples of false flag staged terror in the historical record books, declassified operations, too many to count. Go look it up. Share it with your friends. Share Imad Salim, the February 26, 1993 terrorist who was an FBI informant blowing up a bomb at the World Trade Center. Share these pictures. Take all the content that we've been putting up over the past few days and any other alternative media websites and save and archive this stuff on your home computers. Get it out to the cloud somewhere. Back this stuff up. You know, to the point where the information comes so quick, they can't stop this anymore. They can't cover it up. They can't call it a conspiracy anymore. There was more confusion today around another potential suspect. They said that they had arrested the suspect. I was getting tweets. I was getting text messages from some of our contributors, people hitting our tip line, said that they had found whoever it was, that the suspect had been, they had found the suspect and they had taken him into custody. Then that report got tossed out. Then there was a bomb threat at a federal courthouse building in Boston. More terror, more chaos. And this is literally all been unraveling before our eyes. You know, I'm just staring here at the Drudge Report. It says report Boston suspect identified. Two singled out in video footage. We're reloading here. Lord and Taylor security cam, man in black, jacket on cell phone, wearing gray hoodie, white backwards cap on. CNN backs off arrest of dark-skinned male. FBI scolds media. One of the marathon bombing heroes that was actually helping the wounded was questioned at his home. It says they took my clothes, my shoes, my pants, and my t-shirt. But the biggest story tonight is these graphic images that have leaked to the internet and are spreading like wildfire, that are going viral, that add more proof to the pudding and more evidence that our original assessment and my original gut instinct day one was the truth. Now, of course, this story is still developing. More and more information is hitting the wires literally every time I reload my computer screen, every time I get an email sent via our tip line, etc. So we're reporting on this constantly. I'm doing a special late night report here. I've literally been operating around the clock the past 72 hours. This is amazing. These are some of the biggest, gigantic stories, maybe the biggest, most gigantic story I have ever personally covered. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for getting the word out. Thank you for sharing our videos. Let me go back to the split screen one more time. I want to make sure that I can do this here. And I want to go back to those images, and I'll leave you with that. Here we are back at the incriminating photos. I can't stress this enough. Get this video out to as many people as you can. You have two suspects. It looks like a Caucasian male wearing a Navy SEAL hat, black cap. He has the image of the same thing Chris Kyle, the Navy SEAL image on his ball cap. Two backpacks, full to the brim. You have this other gentleman who appears to be of Eastern European or Middle Eastern descent. They're both on their phones, wearing military grade pants, khaki pants, and boots. Again, there are only one or two scenarios here. We either have one of the biggest stories in the history of the alternative media, or we literally called it from the start, false flag stage terror. We literally have that, or we have very good and very skilled, highly skilled impersonators appearing to be the FBI. What do you think? There's all these other photos you can take a look at for yourself. The FBI is clearly trying to position this like it's the patsies. There was this image of this other male running post the bomb. You've probably seen this as well, where his pants kind of blow off. So it appears that the FBI, they're trying to position this where, okay, here, look, this is the culprit. But now all of these other photos are coming out, swirling around the internet, going super viral like wildfire, begging the contrary, begging to differ. Again, we're working around the clock. I was really upset earlier. Again, our servers crashed again. One of the special reports I was bringing to you, Topher Morrison, an amazing contributor, had leaked all of this hours ago. And I was really upset because we can't reproduce the organic content as we're reporting on it. It's another reason why it is so important that we have your support. And I want to thank you, all of you, from the bottom of my heart that have continued to support us and to support me since the very beginning. 4 years into this, a regular guy out of his basement who was a little pissed off about what he saw in 2008 while working on Wall Street, who basically told everybody, you know what? I'm going to start making videos. I'm going to get the truth out to the American public. I'm not going to quit, and I'm going to defy the odds, along with you, our audience. And here we are today. 1,000+ videos because of you. 51,000 subscribers because of you. Viral videos because of you. Our audience. You are the resistance. You are the media. Maybe when I started AMTV, Alternative Media, maybe it wasn't the best name for it. Because we are the media now, bitch. That's how we roll. Hard-hitting and in your face. I'm Christopher Green. Get this message out everywhere you can. Share our viral videos on this false flag stage terror attack on the American people. What is gut-wrenching to me is my instincts tell me this is just touching the surface of the planned attacks coming our way. Domino after domino. Sandy Hook after Sandy Hook. MK Ultra movie theater Batman massacre after movie theater Batman massacre. Boston Marathon massacre after Boston Marathon massacre. Murder of Andrew Breitbart after murder of Andrew Breitbart. Murder of Chris Kyle, etc. To not see this as clear as day means you're blind. Means you're not seeing what's really going on behind the scenes. Again, this government openly murders people on a regular basis. President Barack Obama came out not too long ago. He was proud of himself that he whacked and murdered Anwar al-Awlaki, a U.S. citizen who dined at the Pentagon months before President Barack Obama sent a drone in and murdered him. one of the casualties happened to be his teenage son. Anwar al-Awlaki, I'm not saying was a good guy. I didn't know him. Hey, who knows? Maybe he was a terrorist. But he was an American citizen. Never got a trial, never got due process, never got a court appearance. Another major story we broke, you made viral, Christopher Dorner. It was covered by Anderson Cooper on CNN. Many of you sent me that email like, hey, Chris, this is unbelievable. You're on CNN. Same outcome. They lit the match in Big Bear, burn them up. They're shooting civilians in the streets. The Los Angeles Police Department, the LAPD, gunning people down. 70-year-old women driving pickup trucks that didn't even match the description. There was another gentleman, another Caucasian male. They just rammed a car into him and unloaded a few rounds. And these are the people that want your guns, my guns. These loose cannon, they're going to kill all of us type people. Our police that are supposed to serve and protect. The Department of Homeland Security that sticks their hands down our pants, molests our children. Your 5-year-old daughter. To not see to not see the agenda that these people have makes you blind. Now, I realize a lot of people, they watch some of this content, especially over the past week, they get pulled in for the first time. I realize that what I'm saying is hardcore. I realize that it's gonna cause a violent reaction from people that really aren't awake yet. I expect that. Hey, take a look at the comment feed. Take a look at it. You have those that are awake, and other people are like, oh my God, you're a crackpot, and they're given this. Good, I say. Good. We're doing our best. You're doing your best. I'm doing my best to wake up the American people and the people around the world. These people need to be held accountable. Those people in Washington, those people on Wall Street that are murdering us, that are stealing from us on a daily basis, must and should and will, that is my commitment to you, will be held accountable. I will use every ounce of influence, skill, and attention that we garner through our media platform and AMTV to do just that. It is my mission in life. And as I've said many times before, I very much feel that I'm simply, like many of you probably feel, I'm an instrument of something else. Something a lot more higher, a lot more powerful than just me. Because I'm just a regular guy. I can't stress enough how important these stories are, how important this news is, how important Boston is, how unbelievable this cover-up is. This conspiracy. Share my videos. Share Alex Jones' videos. Share what InfoWars is putting out. Share blacklisted news. Share the alternative media. Get it all out. We are all working together. We're not competitors. This is about truth. This is about getting the message out, getting the truth out to the American people. They can't do this stuff anymore. They can't fly planes into buildings like September 11th. They can't blow up the building with the Oklahoma City bombing. They can't torch Waco without the people clearly seeing what's going on. Because we have the power, we have the tools, we have our cell phones, we have our cameras here, we have our computers. Welcome to the new world order. We've been your bitch for way too long. You're going to be ours this next decade, this next century. In a good way. We need to expose these people. We need to get the truth out. Before I close shop tonight, I'm going to see if I can't go to the comments here. Looks like we've got a little over 245 people in the room. Hopefully I can actually grab some of your comments. Let me see here if I can grab the group chat. I have to go back to YouTube here to see if I can find that. Everybody hold on. YouTube has really changed some things around. I'm not even sure how to get to our live feed at the moment. All right, everybody, we're going to have to quit there. In fact, give me a few more minutes. Let me see if I can figure this out. YouTube changing their format every 5 seconds on me. All right, I can't figure it out. We'll have to do this later. Get it out. False flag tear confirmed. Peace.